The Alien franchise has had its ups and downs. The first film from 1979 by Ridley Scott is a stone-cold classic, one of the best horror and science fiction films of all time. Many argue that the 1986 James Cameron sequel, Aliens, is even better. Then, unfortunately, people start getting in the way. David Fincher's first film, Alien 3, had scripts by William Gibson rejected, directors fired, and producer interference. And Fincher almost quit filmmaking before he started. Alien Resurrection is a fundamentally bad film. After that came the two crossover films with the Predator franchise, AVP, Alien vs. Predator, and Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. The first, a stupid, if not entirely unentertaining film by Paul W.S. Anderson. The second, stupid and entirely unentertaining. Ridley Scott then came back to make 2012's Prometheus, an underappreciated film in the same universe, but with connections only to the first film. People decided they didn't like that, and wanted more Alien, so Scott's plans for Prometheus 2 became the inferior, but still good Alien Covenant, with Scott changing a lot of what he wanted to do to yield to fan pressure. Surprise, surprise, people didn't like that even more. That's where we were in 2017. Fast forward 7 years, and we arrive in 2024, where modern horror stalwart Fede Álvarez has decided to make an Alien film, going back to the ones everyone unanimously loved, Alien and Aliens. Ripping much of the guts out of the thoughtful and introspective past two films, the director gives a back-to-basics Alien movie, with a small cast in a contained location for a traditional base under siege story in space. Trying to escape the Weyland-Yutani Corporation's mining colony on Jackson Star, a small group of young men and women fly up to a derelict space station that has come into orbit, in the hopes of salvaging the cryostasis pods and making a getaway to Ivaga 6, a planet far, far away. Unknown to them, the station, split into the two halves of Remus and Romulus, was a space station that, months beforehand, picked up the xenomorphs from the ship of the first film, and although the crew are now dead, other things are not. Small things aside, Alien Romulus does what it sets out to do. It quickly gets to the heart of the matter, offers mystery in its first 30 minutes, gives us chest busters, face huggers, xenomorphs, slime, deaths, and androids. Gone are any pretenses for trying to take the concepts further, trying to ask deeper questions into the meaning of creation and life, as Prometheus and Alien Covenant did. Instead, the film's only intention is to give us xenomorph horror, to have monsters jumping out at us from dark shadows, running down corridors, explosions, a synthetic with questionable allegiances, and a countdown to destruction. On this front, it certainly succeeds, even if it isn't as horrifying as it wants to be. Most of the action sequences are well put together. They are deftly paced and organically integrated into the story, with a number of little moments aptly set up to be paid off near the end. The visuals are beautiful, the xenomorphs are scary, and the score by Benjamin Wallfish is decent. Cailee Spaeny and David Jonsson are great leads, with Jonsson the shining light on the acting side, giving an eerie halfway house between likable and unknowable. He tells awful space jokes as one of his character quirks, which is a really nice touch. Irritatingly, however, Alien Romulus decides that it wants to have a few moments of fan service that make no logical sense, other than to please the crowds in a way that is normally only reserved for legacy sequels. It tries as much as it can to stay away, but like a child seeing an open box of chocolates with no adults around, Romulus can't resist pinching a few quickly before anyone notices. That, unfortunately, is how big franchise films work these days. You can't get a film without these moments, or studio executives will complain there aren't enough references, enough reasons for viewers to see the film on streaming, enough things for YouTube videos entitled 50 Things You Missed During Film X to mention and generate interest from. It means Alien Romulus is safe. It's certainly not as daring or as flawed as Ridley Scott's two prequels, but it is a very good time at the movies. This is a strong and stable Alien movie. It is uncontroversial and simple. It is beautifully crafted.